I'm going to start off with my number 10, and it's going to be a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. So it is actually their away jersey, and there's a look from like 1970 to 1992 with minor variations. There's minor variations with it, but I really like this look. So being a Colts fan, as I've talked about, their colors are blue and white. All right, so there's a connection for me there. And for the most part, I don't think Toronto has messed around with their jersey style all that much. I think the most drastic change of the last, and again, I'm no hockey expert, so this is me from the outside looking in. I think the most drastic change in Toronto's hockey jerseys is in the last probably 60 years was the size of the leaf and maybe the leaf color in the middle. I think there was one point where it was like really ginormous, but that might be the most drastic change of it. It's a classic look. It's a look that doesn't have to be changed. And I like the white. I like the primarily white version of it. Like with the Colts, again, shoehorning football in here, but like with the Colts, I like that icy white with the kind of the just a little bit of blue. I like that with Toronto. I like that with their look. It's vintage. It's cool. I'm not saying it because my good friend Andrew loves the Toronto Maple Leafs. I can assure you of that. But it's just a good look, and I like the primary white version. So I put the ballpark year from 1970 to 92. Like I said, minor tweaks throughout, but that is my number 10. My number 9. So I remember, I think I might have had a plain jersey of this team when I was a kid. I'm looking at it right now in this moment. I think that I had a version of this jersey. It is the Phoenix Coyotes jersey, the home jersey that they wore from 1996 to 2003. It's primarily black. It's got the really cool coyote mascot figure. I always like the half mask part of it. The color scheme is kind of cool too. I like the black with the like maroon red and the green. I think it's a unique combination that we don't really see all too often in sports. I more so like it for the mascot, for the coyote mascot, but I think I had this jersey as a kid. Or my dad had it. It was somewhere in my household. I can almost guarantee you of that. But when you're a kid, you're enamored with mascots, with adorable cartoon characters. That's why I liked the Toronto Raptors jersey so much, was because of the cool dinosaur in a basketball jersey. And I am digging the way that this coyote looked in his hockey uniform with his hockey stick and his half mask. Yeah, I don't know much more on how to describe that, why I like it. But that's my number 9, the Phoenix Coyotes home jersey. All right, my number 8. I think this is my only, well, no, there's another one with a little bit of red in it, but this is my only primarily red jersey. And it's actually a throwback jersey. So this is the 75th anniversary Detroit Red Wings jersey. They wore this in 1991 to 92, and it's actually based off of the 1927 or 28 uniform, if I'm not mistaken. It's primarily white, and it's got red stripes going across, and there's a thick one across the chest, the lower, well, I guess kind of the middle of the torso. It spells out Detroit. It's simple. All right, I like it. I think it's got a cool, nice look to it. I think the red kind of, it goes well with the white. It pops. I don't know how else to describe these besides, how they look and how they make me feel. I'm a big vintage fan, and actually, looking through the website that I ended up using, I liked a lot of the early 1900s uniforms, the jerseys. I thought a lot of them looked cool, but there's not a lot of pictures for them, so it's hard to really get a grasp. I seen animated version, a cartoon version of these jerseys, but I want to find an actual living photograph. I said living, but I like an actual photograph of it. And fortunately, scrolling through, I knew there was a couple red ones that I really liked, and Detroit was definitely one of them. But I like this throwback one, and I like the 75th anniversary patch too. With the I like the orange and black NHL logo, but I think it looks good. It's on the right shoulder. But that is it. That is my number 8, the Detroit Red Wings 75th anniversary jersey. This is actually getting really, really tough. I don't know how I'm going to formulate the rest of these. Here, I'm going to go with this one. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Another gimmicky, cool cartoon character mascot that I fell in love with as a kid. Mighty Ducks. All right. Inspired a cartoon. Inspired... I would imagine it inspired the Disney Channel movie, I would think. Don't quote me on that, but the Mighty Ducks were this great, like, cultural thing. It transcended hockey. All right, this was like the equivalent of the Toronto Raptors. There's this awesome duck that's mighty from Anaheim. But I'm going to go with their away jerseys. I felt like those popped more. Both jerseys are great, but I always liked the away jersey. They used them from 1993 to 2006. But I like the primarily white with the green, kind of the green being the second most popular color on there, second primary, with the green being like a second primary color on the jersey. And that logo is just sick. The duck mask with the crossed hockey sticks. I mean, it's iconic. It is iconic. I probably could have put it up higher, but I found a couple really good deep cut jerseys that I was like, ooh, that speaks to me. But the Mighty Ducks away jerseys, 93 to 06, before they took a little bit more of an adult style look to it. And I know that my buddy Andrew liked one of their newer uniform styles, but I'm a sucker for old. I'm a sucker for the 90s, and Mighty Duck cartoon characters are right up my alley. So that's my number 7. All right, my number 6. I was kind of contemplating, trying to think about getting this up there a little bit higher, but I don't think I could put it up any higher. This is also from the late 90s. It is the Tampa Bay Lightning alternate jersey from 1996 to 1999. Now, something that I've maybe touched on briefly on my time in this show is I'm a big fan of the Weather Channel. All right, Local on the 8s was an important part of my childhood, and I liked the lightning icon when there was thunder and lightning storms coming, and I liked the poorly illustrated rain in Local on the 8s form. And so this jersey speaks to me because it's really freaking cool. I like the lightning bolt. I like the way it looks. I like the kind of the rain, like it's not even a stripe, like a streak going diagonal across it. The arm things have like the lightning, which is really cool lightning. And the bottom of the jersey has like waves moving in it. There's a lot to look at. And I've talked about art and how when you see a cool piece of art, there's a lot to look at. Comic book covers, I mentioned this. When there's a lot to look at something, it's very appealing. And there's a lot to look at with this alternate jersey. It's not flashy, but it's detailed. It's very, very detailed. And, you know, being a Weather Channel guy, I seen this. I don't remember this jersey at all. But when I seen this on that database, I was like, I have to have this on my list because it is beautiful. So that is it. The Tampa Bay Lightning alternate from 1996 to 1999. Number 5. I got to pick a Sabres one here. And I can't pick one or the other. I grew up in the black and red goat head era, but I also admire the white and blue, the blue and gold. So I did the hybrid. So I have it written down, 2022 to 2023, this reverse retro jersey, which was a best of both worlds scenario. And I think it is so freaking cool. It's the goat head with the blue and gold. And it is so aesthetically pleasing. I had to absolutely have this on this list. I probably would have put the goat head black and red as like a number 10. Or I would have put that the classic Sabres blue and white, blue and yellow. That might have cracked my, like, I don't know, 8th or 9th. But these two together is, in my opinion, a top 5 jersey. And again, it's my opinion. It's strictly my opinion. Everybody's tastes are going to be different. That's the fun in these lists. But it's a rare one. They don't wear it all the time, obviously. But this reverse retro is ungodly cool. So that's my number 5, the Sabres blue and yellow goat head. I feel like I need to buy this. I feel like I have to have one. Even though I don't know which player I would pick. I feel like I need to have that jersey because it is... Gosh, it's pretty. All right. That's my number 5. Number 4. We're going to go with the LA Kings reverse retro. And basically, it's a cool... This reverse retro combination kind of thing is really cool. I'm not super familiar with it going into this, the name and what it means, but I really, really like what they got going on here. So for the LA Kings in 2021, they did their classic purple and yellow look, and they threw this on the jersey style that they switched over to in like the mid-90s. They went like black and white. Like it was a drastic... What is it with all these teams in the 90s, by the way? Just throwing away their fun colors for something like a more serious tone. I discussed this in the NBA episode as well, the NBA jersey episode. It was just so weird how in the middle of the 90s, everyone's just like, you know what? Fun colors, goodbye. We're going for dark and grimacing. And the LA Kings were one of those teams to do it. So, but yes, the style of their mid-90s jerseys with the purple and yellow thrown on it, it's well done. I'm most positive this was on my buddy Andrew's list too. But purple and yellow is a great color combination. It's fun. I mean, the Lakers made it fun, and the Kings certainly made it fun. But this is a really great blend of two of the better LA King jerseys styles. So that's my number 4. So my number 3 was another deep cut that I had no idea I would be adding to this list. It was a color scheme that I had no idea that this team ever used. Obviously, based on some of my jersey lists that I've mentioned, I brought up, blue is a great color. I was blown away that this team used blue at any point. It is the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. It's from 72 to 77, and they have basically their current Pittsburgh Penguins logo. I think it's pretty still similar. They might have cleaned it up, touched it up a little bit, but instead of the bulk of the jersey being black, it's like a blue. It's really cool looking and kind of like mind blowing at the same time. Like when you stare at a negative, like a picture, like a piece of film, like the negatives and how the colors are kind of like opposite, if that makes any sense. Like, if I never knew they did this. So for me to see the Penguins all my life as, black and gold, black and yellow, and to see a blue primary color it was cool. And they actually had a little bit before that, there was a brighter powder blue. It was actually a little bit brighter, but I like the darker powder blue with the yellow touch on it. I think it's sick. This is all these jerseys I would buy, but this is a really cool throwback jersey. Had to make the list. That's my number 3. Number 2. My number 2 is another nice little throwback. Everything else here, there's not a whole lot of modern ones that I really put on this list, but I'm going to go with the Colorado Rockies. This is a era-defining jersey, I feel. Like I think you picture the NHL in the mid to late 70s, early 80s. I feel like the Colorado Rockies jersey is just one of the standout premier jerseys. All right, the primary blue with the red C and the yellow in the center, the elbow stripe, the red elbow stripe with the yellow accent, thick accent. You got like all the good colors just on one jersey, and it's a little selfish. It's a little selfish to put that much good coloring on a uniform, but they did it well, and it's cool, man. It is really cool. My dad had a bunch of his when I was growing up. My dad had a lot of his old cards, and I used to love looking at the old hockey cards and see if I can find a Colorado Rockies jersey. It's just cool. Like I know when we did the NBA list, the Denver Nuggets had a color scheme, it was the rainbow jersey, and it was basically the same color of blue, and it incorporated that red and yellow. Denver, Colorado Rockies, Denver Nuggets. So I don't know if that was planned. I don't know if that was an intentional kind of like, let's do this together kind of thing, but it's a good look, and that's why it's my number 2. And my number 1 team is probably a team that most of you watching this didn't know was a thing, but way back in the day, in California, there was a team called the Golden Seals. All right, the California Golden Seals. I am hit their last 3 years, 74, 75, and 76. They switched to a blue, and it's a pretty blue. It's like a turquoise, not even a turquoise, like a powdery blue. I don't know. It's a beautiful blue. I'm just gonna say that. And a yellow lettering, yellow accent, but it's hard to pick just one. They're beautiful jerseys, and those are my number 1s. Like the previous iteration for the California Golden Seals is actually really cool too. It's a green and yellow, which is really nice. Kind of gives me old Seattle Supersonics vibes. But I'm a blue guy. Blue and yellow is the best color combination in my opinion. And the California Golden Seals did it really, really good. I don't know the story of why they don't exist. I think they moved. Excuse my ignorance, but what just a cool name. And I hope I'm talking to people that didn't know that the California Golden Seals were an NHL team at one point. Yeah. Really, really cool team colors, but apparently not that great of a team if they're not in existence anymore. But there it is, everybody. Thank you so much.